almost all denominations losing ground. Survey says, when it comes to religion, the USA is now a land or becoming a land of freelancers. The percentage of people who call themselves some type of Christian has dropped more than 11% in a generation. And when they stand up, they're standing still, falling backwards, never able to progress or go forward. The faithful have scattered out of their traditional bases. The Bible Belt is less Baptist. The Rust Belt is less Catholic, and everywhere more people are exploring spiritual frontiers or falling off the faith map completely. It's called the falling away. These dramatic shifts in only 18 years are detailed in the New American Religious Identification Survey, ARIS. It finds that despite growth in immigration that has added nearly 50 million adults to the U.S. population, almost all religious denominations have lost ground since the first ARIS survey in 1990. And now, more than ever before, people are just making up their own stories of who they are. They say, I'm everything, I'm nothing, I believe in myself. Or, simply, they say they believe in nothing. Some of the key findings. So many Americans claim no religion at all, 15% up from 8% in 1990. This category now outranks every other major U.S. religious group except Catholics and Baptists. In a nation that has long been mostly Christian, the challenge to Christianity does not come from other religions, but from a rejection of all forms of organized religion. Once again, these are definitely more signs of the times. Catholic strongholds in New England and the Midwest have faded as immigrants, retirees, and young job seekers have moved to the Sun Belt, while bishops in the Midwest to New England close down or consolidate historic parishes. Those in the South are scrambling to serve increasing numbers of worshipers. Baptists, 15.8% of those surveyed, are down from 19.3% in 1990. Mainline Protestant denominations, once socially dominant, have seen sharp declines. The percentage of Methodists, for example, dropped from 8% to 5%. The percentage of those who choose a generic label, calling themselves simply Christian, Protestant, non-denominational, or born again, or evangelical, was 14.2%, about the same as in 1990. Jewish numbers showed a steady decline from 1.8% in 1990 to 1.2% today. The percentage of Muslims, while still slim, has doubled from 0.3% to 0.6%. Some say both groups suggest those numbers understate the group's populations. Meanwhile, some Jewish surveys that report larger numbers of Jews also include cultural Jews, those who connect to Judaism through its traditions, but not necessarily through actively practicing the religion. Meanwhile, nearly 2.8 million people now identify with dozens of new religious movements, calling themselves Wiccan, pagan, or spiritualist, which the survey does not define. Wicca, a contemporary form of paganism that includes goddess worship and reverence for nature, has even made its way to Arlington National Cemetery, where the Pentagon now allows Wiccans 5 pointed star symbol to be used on veterans' gravestones. Somehow, that sounds appropriate in some kind of way. The Baylor University Religion Surveys in 2006 and 2008, each based on 35,000 interviews, were distinguished by a look at how people described and understood God. It found that 41% of people had switched their religion at some point in life. Some have concluded from that study, and others, that many saw God as a personal hobby, and that the USA is a greenhouse for spiritual sprouts. Today, religion has become more like a fashion statement, not a deep personal commitment for many, just another fashion statement. So then, this is the way it's going. As religion goes away, 11% in a generation. And this goes with another story. Pastor shot during sermon. Gunman's motive remains mystery. A pastor shot and killed during his Sunday sermon deflected the first of the gunman's 4 rounds with a Bible, sending a confetti-like spray of paper into the air in a horrifying, terrifying scene that parishioners initially thought was a skit, police said. The gunman strode down the aisle of the sprawling First Baptist Church shortly after 8 a.m. and briefly spoke with the Reverend Fred Winters, then pulled out a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol and began firing until it jammed. Churchgoers wrestled the gunman to the ground as he waved a knife, slashing himself and 2 other people. None of the approximately 150 parishioners seemed to recognize the gunman, and investigators do not know details of the conversation, but they plan to review an audio recording of the service. We thought it was part of a drama skit. When he shot, what you saw was confetti, or it looked like that. We just sat there waiting for what comes next, not realizing that he had shot the pastor. The pastor had stood on an elevated platform to deliver his sermon about finding happiness in the workplace, and managed to run halfway down the sanctuary's side aisle before collapsing. 2 of the parishioners tackled the gunman as he pulled the knife, and all 3 were stabbed, police said. The gunman suffered a pretty serious wound to the neck, while 1 parishioner had lower back wounds. The people in the pews knocked the gunman down and held him down until police arrived. Authorities didn't know whether Winters, the pastor, a married father of 2, knew the gunman. Police described the gunman as a 27-year-old from nearby Troy, but would not release his name pending possible charges. The gunman and 39-year-old congregant or parishioner Terry Bullard underwent surgery at St. Louis University Hospital and were in serious condition Sunday evening. The other victim was treated and released. Once again, these are more signs of the end times, last days, or rather, end of an era. Transition days. Transition means drastic change. And drastic change is coming. Once again, these are more signs, day by day.